T&D Sports, an exclusive video broadcast.
Two Storybrooke programs lock horns on T&D Sports Network. Saturday night from Syosset, the Plainview Old Bethpage Hawks take on Syosset here on T&D Sports. And welcome into the broadcast booth, everybody. Alongside Brian Donahue, I'm John Perez. Brian, you look at a whole soccer season, there's different segments to it. When it starts with Plainview Old Bethpage, this is a team that many thought would be more competitive than they are this year, and just it hasn't gone their way. But as a soccer coach, they've stood positive, and that's all that you could ask out of this team so far.
Absolutely. You know, we always talk about the best laid plans of mice and men, right? And Coach Christine Ho had some great plans going into the season. They've certainly not been what she's wanted, but they are digging in and they are grinding out this season as best they can.
A lot of their losses are only by one goal as you take a look at the roster, and there is some talent on this team, losing almost a dozen starters or impact players from a year ago. But one player that we're going to highlight is the captain, Kyle Gregory, who brings a lot of leadership and good tactical skills.
Absolutely, and Kyle Gregory is going to be holding down this back three for Plainview Old Bethpage tonight. He's going to need to use all of that leadership tonight against a lethal Syosset attack.
Yeah, let's flip it over to the other side, the home team, Syosset. There's their roster. You see all the talent on there. Cole McGuire was a Newsday Top 100 player. You could also look at Jake Dappis, fantastic player. But the player that we're going to spotlight tonight, Xavier Pult, who does it all.
They call him X for a reason. He is the X factor. He is the guy who's going to change a game on his will, right? They're going to be looking to find him early as teams double and triple team Javi Navarro. They're going to look to find Pult out on the wing.
As you look at this Syosset roster, they're not wearing their traditional red jerseys, and there's a reason for that. This is the third annual year where they've had an awareness game, and this year they've teamed up with Jay Asparo and the Ann Asparo Project to raise awareness to finding a cure for Alzheimer's. And because of that initiative, Jay Asparo is out on the field. He's going to be running, how about this, 100 miles over the span of 2 days, 50 miles at Plainview High School and 50 miles at Syosset this November 1st. And this year, Syosset is dedicating their awareness, so good job by Syosset.
Absolutely. You know, there's a reason why in our little coaching community, in our little fraternity, we talk about how Syosset is the mountaintop, right? This is a program where I tell young coaches, hey, go watch what Coach Waxer and Coach Bettacini do in Syosset. They're the program you want to look at.
It's going to be a fun one. Can Plainview pull the upset? Syosset looks for their 6th win of the year. Starting touch when we come back on T&D Sports.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe, leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
What's your vision of retirement? Does it involve traveling the world? Or maybe spending time with family? Or even just relaxing, knowing that you're financially secure? Whatever your dream, having a financial plan in place can be key to making that a reality. At Rockline Wealth Management, our team of fiduciary financial advisors has over 55 years of combined experience helping clients build out and implement financial plans up to and through retirement. Our team tailors each plan to the unique goals of our individual clients to help them make informed decisions as their life goes forward. We provide personalized strategies to help our clients navigate the complexities of retirement planning, including building out a financial plan, estate planning reviews, tax planning, and investment strategies. Helping you to define and find your freedom in retirement is our goal. So let's get planning today. Schedule your free consultation with one of our fiduciary financial advisors by giving us a call at 516-605-1624 or by clicking the link below. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Welcome you back to Syosset High School. Plainview Old Bethpage taking on Syosset here on T&D Sports. Plainview in the road whites with the midnight blue shorts, and Syosset in their special awareness jerseys honoring the Ann Asparrow Foundation, raising awareness for Alzheimer's and Long Island Alzheimer's Foundation. He's Brian Donahue. I'm John Perez, and Brian for Plainview Old Bethpage. This is a game where they would love a result, but they have to be thinking must win.
Absolutely. Where they're sitting in their conference, they are still technically alive for playoffs with the 500 rule, sitting at 1-4-2. They can still catch the 500. They need to essentially run out the string and win every game. So this is a must-win situation for Plainview.
For Syosset on the other side, 5-2, you would love to keep accruing points and get a better seed going into the playoffs because you know how tough the schedule is, and of course what a bear Nassau County is.
Absolutely, especially this AAA. You know, the Syosset had this great run last year. They want to replicate that. Talking to these boys the last couple of times I've been out here, They were super disappointed in that loss to Whitman in the Long Island Championship. They have a lot of work they want to put in here.
When you look at both of these teams, and we were just talking about Syosset, a couple of keys. What do you want to see in the first couple of minutes? And, of course, what are the keys to success? We'll start with Syosset.
So for Syosset, their fullbacks have to put in work, right? So for those of you at home, it's the left back and the right back. They have a tendency to get beat, especially with teams that put a lot of pressure. They have to put in that work. Number two, it's going to be the midfield. Plainview at Bethpage is going – they're throwing everything against the wall here. Talking to Coach Christine Ho, she said, we're going to play a 3-6-1 because why not? Let's see if it works. So that midfield's going to be a mess. They have to control. And finally, they have to play fast. Syosset is very effective when they're moving the ball quickly, and they're not taking a lot of time on it. A lot of quick switches and quick passes.
Biggest thing that you mentioned there, a 3-6-1. I can't imagine many coaches out there that play that type of formation. What are some of the positives that go into playing that type of formation?
In my decade plus, I've never seen it, right? So when you're playing a 3-6-1, you have a stacked midfield and you want to control that midfield. The thing that you're going to struggle with is if you've never played it before, it can be very tight and compact in that midfield, and some guys may not know where they need to be.
Yeah, this is a Plainview team that doesn't have a lot of depth. They really don't have subs as much as Syosset does, and dealing with some injuries as well and losing 11 players from a year ago. But I think you could spin it into a positive where you've got players that are now getting extended minutes for the first time in their career, and even if they're not punting on this year, gaining valuable experience and helping out their cause and learning along the way to help them in the future.
You're right, and I can't think of a better coach than Coach Christine Ho to be playing under. You know, this is one of the more storied and more winning coaches in Nassau County. Back-to-back Coach of the Year honors the last 2 years. She's been in the county championship the last 3 years, and that's just in soccer. For flag football, she's a winning coach there too, so she knows how to win, she knows how to build programs, so she knows how to guide these young players.
Her and Carrington Appley, the only all-female staff in Nassau County when it comes to soccer, but you could throw the genders out the window. She knows soccer, she knows the game, and more importantly, she knows her team and says that at times it's been frustrating this year, but they've held their heads up high. They learn new things in practice every day, and that's what they're hoping to do against Syosset. As there's their keeper, Jacob Glass, 23 saves on the season, had 4 saves against Port Washington, had a bit of a bump in practice the other day, was evaluated by the doctors, clear to play, and good to see him between the pipes.
Yeah, when you can have some, a guy like Jacob Glass back there, we want to see him be vocal. We want to see him command that back line. When you're playing 3 on the back like they are, and you have an attacking trio like Rubio, Navarro, and Pultz for Syosset, they're going to have to be on their toes, and that communication is going to have to be on point tonight.
Throw in for Syosset.
Forward ball right there by Brody Waxer.
5-2-0. Brody Waxer, the Michigan lacrosse commit, floats it in. First year playing soccer since his freshman year. Two-sport athlete. And going to be a fantastic player at the next level for the Wolverines.
And he's also out here playing for Uncle Brett, which he says he loves.
And we know the Waxers run Syosset. I got to use that trying to go to a restaurant or something. Just say that my name is John Waxer. Although if it's a Nassau restaurant, I'm sure Donahue works too. Played at the midfield. There's Jake Dappis. How about Dappis? 2-time top 100 Newsday All-Player, All-County last year, and he's a good facilitator as he sets up Cesar Rubio.
Right, and that play all developed from that really hard-nosed play in the midfield, right? Challenging 50-50 balls, shoulder to shoulder, and not giving up. He comes out with that ball, and he plays that ball out there to Rubio, who's trying to make some work. And, credit to the Plainview defense. They stood tall on that play.
Far side, here's Xavier Pultz, affectionately known as X. 3 goals on the season. As Syosset tries to get something going, ball deflected, and it'll be a a corner upcoming for Syosset.
I got here super early today, John, and I got here about an hour and a half before the game. I wanted to just settle in, and Syosset was out here running some new corner kick plays. This is something they were really focusing in on, working on. So I want to see if they work on one of these, and if they run one of these plays they were running in that practice this morning.
Dappis to take the corner. Puts it towards the center. And springs back out for Syosset. That's Cole McGuire, a goal and 3 assists on the season, a top 100 player to watch. Played in towards the net, the header, and a whistle before the header, but Glass taking initiative to pounce on top of it.
Yeah, offside call there. Listen, it happens, but I think one of the things that Coach Waxer needs to take away from that is that ball found the head of Javi Navarro. He's their big target. He's been on my personal watch list on my Nassau Soccer Instagram page. He's been on the watch list since he's a freshman. Now a junior, he wreaks havoc on that back line. Big body, he can shrug defenders off. He takes up a lot of energy and a lot of time from that defense.
I was curious when we were going to get the social media plug, and it took you over the 5-minute mark that I thought, at exactly 6 minutes in. But it's certainly a great page to watch. Definitely go follow if you're not, and most soccer fans are, Nassau County Soccer on Instagram.
At Nassau Soccer on Instagram. Check it out. I've got to wonder, though, what's the over-under?
5 minutes. Our friend said 5 seconds, our mutual friend, as it gets played back out. This is one of those. There's a header just wide of the post on the right side. Xavier Navarro, you mentioned the big target, bidding for his 7th goal of the year, just missed it wide.
Right here he makes that great back post run, and he finds some space, and he's got some pretty good hops. He gets up there, and, he's got a head on the ball. He just couldn't get the right angle on it. And that's something where if I'm Coach Christine Ho, I'm barking at my defense. Somebody's got to put a body on him every time.
Still some time to go when it comes to honors and accolades. He was an all-county honorable mention. I'd imagine with the 6 goals and 3 assists and what he's going to do for Syosset down the stretch, he's going to be more than an honorable mention this year.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's a lock for all-county. I think he's certainly in discussion for offensive player of the year. I think there's a case to be made for potentially player of the year in the AAAs. But the AAAs, there's some guys that are playing real well in the AAAs. Jeremy Velez from Massapequa is playing really well. The kid from Farmingdale's playing really well. So there's some competition there.
So I also tried to center. 50-50 ball. Richie Dempsey, the junior, clears it for the Hawks.
And you got to wonder if Chase Pendrick is going to be getting up a little for this game. His brother, all-state player from last year, came home on a little college visit. He's down patrolling those sidelines. He's watching on little brother play. They shared the field a little bit together last year. So I think, there's a lot going for Syosset tonight. But I know this Plainview team, and I know this coach. There is no quitting these guys, and they're going to be out here, and they're going to be giving everything they have, and they're going to be fighting through all of it.
Rubio trying to shake through 2 defenders.
For these 4 seniors, they only returned 4 seniors, right? So for these 4 seniors who last year lost to Syosset 1-0, that's going to stick in your craw, right? And you're only playing each other once this season, unlike some of the other conferences where we play each other twice. They're only seeing each other once, so some of these guys are getting up for this game.
Richie Dempsey got up for the header and trying to start something for the Hawks, but a good job by Chase Pendrick to step in. So right on cue, Pendrick trying to get something going for Syosset. That was Rubio, the junior. Rubio with some space. Played back from McGuire. Rubio 1v1 with Logan Klein, a freshman. How about the junior against the freshman? Just out of the reach. Goal kick upcoming.
Right, and there's that little miscommunication there, right? And that's one of those things where they slowed down, right? And it's almost like that thing where, you want to play a lot faster because then your instincts kick in. When you slow down and you give yourself too much time to think, you think your way out of plays.
Ethan Reiser, Hawks the other way. Ty Rowling, the junior.
Right, and that's one of those risks of playing a solo striker, John, right? You have a solo striker up top. He needs support. You can't have a midfield that's just sitting back. You need to send guys forward. And when you have a 6-man midfield, right, you're going to have 2 guys on the wing, 4 in the middle. You're playing Eric Stolak and David Diakonu in the middle as those attacking midfielders. They need to be pushing up.
Well, you mentioned Diacono, the senior returning player, great speed. Keep an eye on number 18 in white. And free kick for the Hawks. As Dempsey will line it up. Almost 10.5 gone by. Dempsey steps into it. Poltz. Waltz is in there. Taken away on the counter. Here comes Logan Klein, the freshman. And nothing doing there.
That's some great closeout defense, right? Logan Klein had the ball on his foot. He had his eyes on goal. But that was some great closeout defense right there from number 18, Cesar Rubio. Right, he had a beat on him, and Cesar Rubio read it real well. Nice interception of that play. And now we got his throw in, and let's see what Plainview can cook up here with our player to watch, Kyle Gregory.
It's a strong throw starting from lane 5. Well then, off to 1. Long throw towards the net, and an easy opportunity for Josh Weisenfeld. Feld a verbal commit to LIU to play lacrosse, splitting time with Sebastian Ioga.
Good throwing.
And now Brody Waxer.
Brody Waxer is part of this. They're one of my favorite center back duos in the county, right? Waxer and Reiglowitz. They play so well together. They know each other well. They're intuitive with each other.
And Reiglowitz was thrown into the fire as a freshman last year, and it's paying dividends as a sophomore. Poltz. Seems like every time Poltz touches the ball, there's 3 defenders around him.
Yeah, and you know what? So when you have guys like that, and now you're going to double Poltz, you're going to double Javi Navarro, now you're going to look for that third guy to step up. And, you know, when these cameras pan out on these wide shots and you see the sideline and you see the size and depth of Syosset's bench, they have plenty of guys that can step up. And, you know, we talk about the strength of Syosset is that they are a team that's 19 to 20 guys deep, where a lot of teams are only 13, 14.
Strung ahead by Reiglowitz. Who brings a toughness, good composure with the ball at his feet, and then sends it wide. Joe Zeno, the freshman. Up top to Gregory.
You know, one of those guys that can change a game, right? We talk about the bench. One of those guys for Syosset, number 17, Jeremy Mallon's checking into the game. He's the guy that does a lot of great work out on the wing. He can make those sneaky runs in. And now here we got for Plainview, Andrew Melville coming in. He's another guy who can change the game.
Well, you mentioned Mallon, and you know when Mallon comes in, he's someone that could bring a different dynamic. Scored a goal against Freeport, another against Oceanside, and just continues to earn more playing time. Only a junior, and you mentioned when the team is so deep, you're not going to start, but you can get starters minutes.
Absolutely. And, you know, for a kid like Mallon, you know, he's first guy off the bench, and he's a guy with a high work rate. He puts in that work, shoulder-to-shoulder contact, and he's just gonna wear down defenders. Big-bodied kid.
Waxer was waiting for it. Headed towards Dempsey. Navarro just so aggressive and so strong. Mallon thrown right into the thick of it after coming off the bench.
And you watch someone like Javi Navarro, and you see just how strong and confident he is on a ball, and you forget that he's a junior. You know, the Syosset is still going to get him for another year.
That's why I'd imagine as an opposing coach, you always have to shake your head at Syosset because you're never going to really have a down year. It's like a funnel that just continues to reload and reload every year.
Absolutely, and I've been on the opposite side of fields from teams where I've seen guys who are like Javi Navarro, and I look at them before game and I say to them, hey, didn't you graduate? I'm tired of seeing you on the other side of the field. We got to be done with you. And there's Mallon with a great run up the wing.
Mallon with the fresher legs. Trying to send it across and deflects off the backside of Liam Oliver, a freshman. Very smart player, good technical base, and using his base to deflect the ball. Far side, Pultz. Pultz looking for the cross, shifts it in front and cleared aside. Good idea by Pultz, sniffing towards the net, but unable to convert.
And something that Plainview is going to have to get locked down, right? There were 2 delayed runs to the top of the 18, right? Mallon and Chase Pendrick were just sitting there waiting. And if they just pass that ball back on that delayed run, that's almost guaranteed a goal. So if I'm Plainview, I got to shut that down and I got to put a body on them.
Breglowitz heads it to himself and goes out of play, and a throw in for Syosset. There's Andrew Melville. Melville, a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, number 10. You mentioned when he came in, can play different positions. And for some of these players, they really haven't practiced the 3-6-1 either. So this is brand new for them as they're trying to salvage their season and continue their playoff push.
Absolutely, John. You know, the last few games I watched from them, they were playing a 4-1-4-1. You know, so there's a little bit of shifting around going on here. So for Plainview, it's really cover bodies, right? Almost look at it as almost like a man-to-man defense situation in certain areas of the field. Cover bodies, shut down passing lanes.
Pultz will leave it off. And McGuire makes sure that it goes out of play. I haven't really mentioned McGuire as Andrew Zamet's going to have the throw-in, but McGuire a goal and 3 assists. Good vision, great on the set piece, and a big piece for that county title team a year ago.
Yeah, I was there for most of that run in the playoffs. They were firing on all cylinders, and that game against Whitman, even the game against Plainview, those were, you know, I know we don't have an instant classic vault for in our Nassau Soccer Conference, right? When we go on our coaches meeting, we don't have a repository of tapes. We should. Those would be some of the first games in for the instant classics.
You just think about all those games over the year. I think what's really interesting, too, and everyone will always, as we get ready for the corner kick, we'll bring up Garden City. Every year, Garden City. But it's the little kids from Glen Cove that beat them every now and then. And you never know what you're going to get in the playoffs. That's why it's so fantastic as the centerpiece. Nothing doing there. Syosset tries to keep it alive. Touched in front. There was Navarro. And Syosset applying the pressure. But Plainview curbs the threat. Foot race. Here's Eric Stolak, 1v1 with Zamet. And Zamet closing the window. A lot of touching there. Plainview wanted the corner kick.
Decent job shielding there from Zamet. Right, one-on-one defense, right? You just want to keep your body in front, maybe stick that right arm out for some control, right? And then we just got a little bit of miscue from between the back and the keeper, but they were lucky, you know, and they were also lucky that we have an incredible officiating crew. Former president of the Nassau Officials Association, Tom Cully, on that call. We got Phil Catalanato on the other side. We have a great association of officials, and 2 of the best are on the field right now.
Of course, if you want to get into officiating too, it doesn't need to be at the high school level, but contact Mr. Cully and get involved. Certainly help give back to the game and the community that you love, as well as the ball is placed by Plainview, trying to create something in a scoreless game almost midway through the first half. 3 corners for Syosset. 2 of them adequate set pieces, not really. We haven't had that clear shot on goal yet.
You haven't, but you know you've done some good work, right? You're finding the head of the attacker. You're getting the ball where you want it to. You just got to increase the quality. But for Plainview, you know you have to look at, you know, you take a look at a game in pieces, right? Sometimes we say, hey, go out and win the first 10 minutes, or when you're playing a team who you think is overmatched, survive the first 10 minutes. And if you're Plainview right now, we're 20 minutes into the game. We're halfway through the first half, and they're hanging, right? I'm sure in some of these guys' heads they thought it could be a lot worse. They're hanging, they're trading punches in some respect.
McGuire on the free kick. Play back out to Raglowitz. Floats it ahead. And Plainview comes out of the fray. That was David Diacono, returning player, good speed. Goal on the season and taken away from Syosset.
Now here's the thing that Plainview has to do. They are going to have to start pushing numbers and start pressing this ball a little more. You can only stay under fire the way they are for so long before you're going to let one in. And as a coach whose team is under fire a lot, my keeper faces a lot of shots. He saves a lot, right? But he also faces a lot. And at some point, a few are going to start to slip through. So they have to settle this ball down, settle into an offense, and start moving that ball around.
Richie Dempsey sprung up. Cool, calm, and collected is Josh Weisenfeld.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great job from the keeper, owning his box right there, coming out strong, grabbing that ball.
William Oliver sends it near side. Michael Greenspan, first-year varsity player, really jumping in the midfielder's role as Syosset on the counter. Navarro. Seeing Plainview take some chances, and Syosset obviously knocking on the door, but Plainview's defense is held.
No, and I think for Plainview, they're going to have to understand that they need to be daring, right? They have to take some chances. They have to take some risk.
17:50 to go.
This is the last free kick. What'd you see here?
Right, you listen, they put a great move in there. You know, that ball was played in a good area, and I think it's just Plainview has to crash the keeper more. You know, one of the things that I notice on all of their plays is they send a lot in. They just have to crash.
Dappis swings it. Bouncing shot blocked from Roland. That was McGuire who had a foot on it. Try and send it towards the keeper.
Right, and that could have been dangerous, right? A little bit more quality. Just sometimes we say just tap and go, right? Just tap to the corner. Syosset's playing a high back line. Just send it into a corner, and now you're in a foot race, right? And now you have the defender's got to turn. You can try and catch him on a step and just go, right? You don't want to try and degenerate into a dump and chase style of a game, right? You want to dink and dunk and little 10-yard passes. But sometimes you do that dump and chase game, just open the field up a little bit and spread it out a little more.
And you never know what's going to get through either.
Absolutely. You know, you never know who's going to misplay a ball, who's going to, whiff.
Eric Stolak returns for Plainview as that sends David Diacono to the bench. When you've got a team that only 14 players on the roster, you're going to have to try and conserve as much energy as you can. And so Christine Ho digging into the bench and into her starting lineup. Here comes Syosset. Navarro. Center shot off the post by Xavier Poltz as X tries to put Syosset in front.
Right, and there it is right there. You know, it's almost like you heard me before. You drive in, you have somebody sitting up the top of the box, wide open, find him, fire, right? He's right there.
Stay scoreless.
Navarro the header.
Let's go, Benny!
And a good step in by Greenspan, the junior. Good presence, good technical base. When he's aggressive, he's great. And someone that Christine Ho says, number 2 in white, just has to do a better job of sitting back. Sat back, cleared it, and now a long throw for Syosset. Dappis, long kick. And an easy play for Glass.
Right, and there's that Navarro is that big target again.
The frame.
And now, if we're talking strategies, X's and O's, you have Plainview is dropping everyone back. Now what you want to do is your Syosset, you want to spread that field, play wide, right? You want to play guys in between the football sideline and the soccer sideline, right? That's where you want to do your work, spread that team out, then you can start moving the ball onto the inside.
Down player on the far side is Kyle Gregory. He's needing a few moments.
Right, and for Plainview, don't bite, right? That's what I would tell them, don't bite. As they're dribbling in and they're taking their chances into the corners, don't bite, right? Pack it in, right? One of the basic principles is you defend tight, you attack wide. That's where they want to be.
Roland starts it towards Dappas. Dappas on the far sideline with Gregory.
Great defense down there from our player, spotlight player, our featured player, Kyle Gregory.
I think the one word that stuck out, Christine Ho said about him, tenacious.
Yeah, he certainly showed it there.
Ball trickling the sideline.
13:35 to go in the half.
Ball played straight up. Roland. And Waxer shoots it out of play.
I was speaking to David Diacono before the game. He's one of these 4 seniors that are returning to this team. And I was asking him, like, hey, when you have a team that has enjoyed a lot of success, and you've seen a lot of success here, who's driving? Oh, wait, here we go.
Chip shot, far side. Not there, and now to track it down is Tyler Wallowitz. He just got called up from the JV squad, going 1v1 with Xavier Poltz. And Wallowitz can't keep it in play. But how about Wallowitz being thrown into the fire as we get the shot on the far side? That was coming from Roland.
That was a great move from Roland. There was a little tensy, nervy moment there, right? Get a little tingles in the bottom of your belly on that attacking play if you're Coach Waxer. And here's Plainview is they're going right back at him. They're not afraid of this team. And you're right, for a JV call-up like number 27 Wallowitz, he doesn't know what he doesn't know, right? He's not afraid. He doesn't know about the Syosset team. He's going to go right at him and just, hey, I'm here to play, guys.
Sometimes I feel like coaches project the nervousness, where for Wallowitz, he might have said, hey, I should be up on the varsity squad. Give me a chance. And now he's got an opportunity for the final dozen minutes of the first half.
And to your point, John, this is an opportunity for this young man to say, hey, Coach, keep me up here. Let me put in some work and show you why I should be here for the rest of the season.
Roland. And Syosset in the midfield pushing forward, and the step in from Gregory. McGuire. Gregory once again steps in the passing lane.
That was a nice one, too. Just got to clean up that second pass, and he's off to the races.
Go, Jake!
Stolak. His pass is deflected. Poltz.
You hit the brakes right there on the JV call-up.
Poltz to Riser. On the sideline, there's Stolak fighting for position. The whistle send it to Syosset. All right, almost a half hour in. Your thoughts on the 3-6-1 so far?
It's working. I talked to Coach Hull before the game. She said we're going to give it a shot and see what happens, and it's working. They're for the most part, they're holding Syosset in check in open play. They have to do better with the set pieces because that's coming, right? But for the most part, they're holding them in check. But now what's going to happen is 30 minutes into the game, I think frustrations might start to kick in a little bit. The things that we are normally doing aren't working.
Here's Navarro, 1v1. Matched up with Zeno. Navarro takes it all across and pushes down his own man in Oscar Paskowitz. Benjamin Meyerowitz loses it, but it'll be a throw-in for Syosset.
Right, I didn't catch it on camera, but, Navarro put up a little hand, say, I'm sorry, right? But this is one of those things where, right, you start to press. You start to trying to do a little too much. Just settle in, play your game. There's a lot of soccer left.
Long cross, nobody home.
I'm fond of this story. When I was a younger coach, first starting out, I heard the great Chris McCann, who's one of the great necks. Now he's the athletic director at Mineola. He kept saying to his team, stay with what works, right? And that's what I would tell all these teams. Just keep doing the thing that works. Don't go away from it. Stay with what works until they stop you.
Aggressive play from Ben Meyerowitz. Second year on the varsity squad. Was called up as a sophomore a year ago, and now we've got a down player for Plainview. Looks like Liam Oliver is shaken up. And so Oliver will get looked at, and we'll take a quick break. 8:50 to go in the first half on TND Sports.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. TND Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, TND Sports is your one-stop video solution. TND Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Back here at Syosset, he's Brian Donahue. I'm John Perez. Pretty compelling first half, some good storylines. How about Plainview, Bethpage JFK? I'm sorry about that, folks out there. They're not exactly playing like the little engine that could. They're playing like a team that is matching up with Syosset, and they've taken some chances.
No, listen, they're not playing like a 1-4-2 team, right? They're playing like a top-of-the-table team who's having just a little bit of an off day, right? So, we don't get timeouts in soccer. This was essentially a timeout. And if you're Coach Christine Ho, you use this to make a couple of quick adjustments. And maybe they're getting a little bit of penetration on this back line of Syosset. Maybe they can clip one on Syosset here at the end of this first half.
Well, so to put your coach's hat on, what adjustment would you make?
I'd tell them just dump and chase to a corner, and then you press numbers on the back post. That's what I would tell them. Get the ball in the corner, numbers on the back post, get a cross in.
Dappis. And a good step in from Reiglowitz. Someone who was playing center back a year ago, very excited to see how things would progress as his head coach, Brett Waxer.
And they run such an efficient program here. Talking to Coach Waxer recently, they do something kind of cool. The day after a game, they take all the starters and the guys who've played most of the game, and they do what's called ped yoga. So Pedicini, the assistant coach, takes them through a yoga program, while Coach Waxer takes everybody else who didn't play, and he puts them through game-like situations. And it's that two-headed monster of a coach that they have that keeps all of these guys focused and game ready. It's a really good system that they have worked out here.
Lofted from Poltz. That's Navarro. Touched it out of bounds. Goal kick, I'm coming.
Right, and there's that wing play out wide. right? He probably could have, in the film room Monday, right? I'm sure Syosset will do some film room. He will realize he probably could have taken a couple of touches and settled himself, get a little more quality on that ball. But it's it's a great looking possession there for Syosset.
Good defensive battle here. We're still scoring.
Through ball knocked back. Wallowitz.
Go, bro!
And that was Greenspan, the junior, with the last touch. Throwing for Syosset.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that Plainview needs to get away from, they cannot keep playing at Reiglowitz and Waxer. They're just too good at holding down that back line, and they have to look for those left and right backs, Reiser and Zamet, to push high and then go hit those corners. I think it's going to be essential for their success.
Pulse. Off to Navarro, good two-man game. Now swings it up front. Here's Reiser looking to cross. Far side has a man, but overshoots his teammate in Navarro. And Navarro has to backtrack. Chip from Zamet. Brought down. Here's a shot from Syosset, deflected. And a free ball, and Glass takes it.
That was a great looking possession there from Plainview. Great cross. Everything clicked there.
5:50 to go in the half.
McGuire so close to giving Syosset the lead as Brody Waxer will escort it to his keeper, and Weisenfeld.
Listen, I don't blame you. This is a season of soccer and then later lacrosse that will be dominated by the Waxer family, right? Brett and nephew Brody here, and then you got cousin Luke at Bethpage. It's a Waxer county right now with the way all these Waxers are playing out here.
Let's take another look. McGuire had a chance and gets deflected.
5 minutes to go in the half.
Right, great job out of Joseph Zeno putting his body in front of that ball.
Sio with a chance. Oscar Palskowitz, the tap to Navarro! And nothing there. Jacob Glass smothers.
And Phil Catalanato's telling him to get up. Right, there was a great piece of skill move right there. That's fresh off the futsal, right? He didn't have control of the ball. That was a little bit of I think a different ref could have called it. But you know why that wasn't a foul, John Perez?
Because he didn't call it.
That's right. Good answer.
Final 4 minutes to play in the first half, and good to see both teams opening it up. Syosset's had their chances.
Well done.
Pulse. Sent ahead, Dapis.
It's a great look in the middle of the field.
Here's Oscar Palskowitz. Off to Meyerowitz. Zeno takes a stab at it and floated back past the 35-yard line. Stolak. To Wallowitz. And Roland. Now running downhill, Stolak draws two defenders. Still dangles. Weisenfeld comes out and pounces on top of it.
He's going to be kicking himself, but now this game is getting all wide open here, right? Nice, nifty little move right in there. But, a couple of dribbles before that, 20 yards before that, he had a runner out there on the other side. If he could have just slot that ball through, make that goalie move on his line, that probably would have been a goal for Plainview.
Pulse. Sends it far down the field. Meyerowitz breaking his defender. McGuire. Good 1v1 battle. Some tugging from both players. No whistle, and Syo keeps it. Sent ahead in the direction of Navarro.
No, and these officials are letting them play, and I like that. Just let these boys go at it. Let them play. You know, and Meyerowitz is a guy who, you know, we've been saying his name a lot lately as we have a Plainview player down. He opened the scoring against in that classic clash against Oceanside last week, and he's a guy who can, he again, puts in that work, and he can do something. He can change the game on a dime.
So, yeah, player down on the far side of the field, and they'll stop the clock with 1:47. We'll take a quick break. Late in the first half on T&D Sports.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Down player for the Hawks is Suzuki Koga, the 8th grade call-up. A little shaken up. And so hopefully can get back into the game and get taped up or whatever he needs tended to. Final 2 minutes to go in the first half.
And this is something that we're going to have to keep an eye on here. The more and more of these Plainview guys pick up these little knocks, you're going to see how it affects them through the rest of this game. And, you know, John, something we've spoken about a few times is they don't have a very deep bench right now.
No, and over the course of 80 minutes, that'll certainly shine through. Maybe they need to go on the Jay Asparo workout, 50 miles in, 100 miles in 2 days, 50 miles a day. Although it's a different type of cardio.
I shudder at the thought of driving 50 miles, let alone running them. So all credit in the world to Jay Asparo.
Navarro the cross. Too strong for McGuire, tries to track it down in the corner. Last minute to play in the first half. Palklowitz. And Oliver shifts it up front, but Syosset clamping down on defense, trying to keep possession. Poltz.
Forty seconds.
Dappas. Navarro. Navarro shaking and baking, ball up top. And floated up, and Jacob Glass handles it. And will take his time and send everybody down the field.
20 seconds to go in the half.
Competitive first half, neither team able to break through. Syosset with 5 corner kicks, but unable to break through. And we go to the half, 0-0 with 40 minutes in the books. Plainview, Old Bethpage, and Syosset. You're watching the T&D Sports Network.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
What's your vision of retirement? Does it involve traveling the world? Or maybe spending time with family? Or even just relaxing, knowing that you're financially secure? Whatever your dream, having a financial plan in place can be key to making that a reality. At Rock Island Wealth Management, our team of fiduciary financial advisors has over 55 years of combined experience helping clients build out and implement financial plans up to and through retirement. Our team tailors each plan to the unique goals of our individual clients to help them make informed decisions as their life goes forward. We provide personalized strategies to help our clients navigate the complexities of retirement planning, including building out a financial plan, estate planning reviews, tax planning, and investment strategies. Helping you to define and find your freedom in retirement is our goal. So let's get planning today. Schedule your free consultation with one of our fiduciary financial advisors by giving us a call at 516-605-1624 or by clicking the link below. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster. Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe, leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Halftime here at Syosset. You are currently watching Syosset Plainview JFK, and if you like what you got, what you're watching right now, check out the rest of T&D's broadcast schedule for the remainder of the fall. with some boys and girls soccer upcoming. Comac taking on Walt Whitman. That's going to be a fun one, October 7th. October 9th, Syosset against Massapequa on the girls' side, and then 3 straight football showdowns. Smithtown West against Sayville, Plainview JFK against Oceanside, and then Sachem North against Sachem East, a great rivalry game, and then the playoffs, so keep it tuned for what the playoff matchups will be on October 24th. And, of course, if you want to follow T&D Sports on social media, hit the subscribe button right now on YouTube, and you can follow us on Instagram at TD Sports Video. That's on Instagram, TD Sports Video. About another couple minutes until the start of the second half. You're watching Syosset and Plainview on T&D Sports Network.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
What's your vision of retirement? Does it involve traveling the world? Or maybe spending time with family? Or even just relaxing, knowing that you're financially secure? Whatever your dream, having a financial plan in place can be key to making that a reality. At Rockline Wealth Management, our team of fiduciary financial advisors has over 55 years of combined experience helping clients build out and implement financial plans up to and through retirement. Our team tailors each plan to the unique goals of our individual clients to help them make informed decisions as their life goes forward. We provide personalized strategies to help our clients navigate the complexities of retirement planning, including building out a financial plan, estate planning reviews, tax planning, and investment strategies. Helping you to define and find your freedom in retirement is our goal. So let's get planning today. Schedule your free consultation with one of our fiduciary financial advisors by giving us a call at 516-605-1624 or by clicking the link below. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Welcome back to Syosset High School, Plainview, Old Bethpage, and Syosset here on the T&D Sports Network. Alongside Brian Donahue, I'm John Perez. A 0-0 score at the half, 40 minutes through. We saw a 3-6-1 out of the Hawks. Syosset had a few opportunities. No true shot on goal for Syosset, but you have to imagine if you keep pressing on the dam, it's going to break. And Syosset, towards the final 10 minutes, was very aggressive.
Absolutely. We talk all the time about how soccer's a game of adjustments. You only have one opportunity to really make a whole team adjustment. They just had it. I'm going to be looking to see a couple adjustments out of both of these teams.
So the biggest glaring thing for both sides, what's the one big adjustment that you want to see?
Well, for number one, for Syosset, I want to have some late back post runs. And that was very technical. But when you have somebody coming up on the left, have somebody on the back side of the goal coming in late, right? They have a lot of balls that are going long. You don't want to have them with the ball. You want to have them trailing by about 10 yards, sneaking in late, get that ball in there late. For Plainview Old Bethpage, it's start playing wings, start playing corners.
So we're ready to go for the second half, and a new keeper for Syosset is Sebastian Oyaga, and we had mentioned that he and Weisenfeld split the duty anyway, so Weisenfeld, all marks, all positive marks, and now on the other side, it is Oyaga, the junior, for Syo.
You know, there's something that's a benefit to that, right? You know, you have two guys that can split time. You know that means you always have someone who's game ready with game experience, where you have a backup keeper who sits behind the starter the whole season. Your starter goes down, and now all of a sudden you got a rusty keeper who's not there. The only drawback is that when you're pitching shutouts, you're not getting clean sheets on the stat page.
And there he is right there, Sebastian Oyaga, a junior, 19 saves coming into the contest tonight. Great shot stopper, very good with his feet, and is working hard to own his own box. Should be a throw in for Syo on the far side. And that's Chase Pendrick. Press down from Roland. And Stolak has it swept aside by Waxer. Stolak and Waxer, and there is Oyaga, making his presence felt early.
You know, and now the sun is now pretty much completely gone behind the trees. The temperature's dropping. The lights are coming on here at this legendary Syosset field here. The barn is kicking. We have the legendary Dean Strohmeyer calling this game. Coach Stroh here, keeping us all entertained. And, you know, this is now, it's getting into, let's just push the pedal on, push the gas, right? Let's just go, boys.
I thought that there was an extra aura or light here earlier, but I just realized it's all radiating off of Stroh.
Absolutely it is. You know, when he walked onto this field today, seeing all these graduates come give him a big hug, it shows you how much the Stroh means to this community here.
Syo with a shot, and that was Chase Pendrick, the sophomore, vying for his first goal of the season.
A little tap. I don't think he got as much on that ball as he would have wanted to, right? It was a nice look. You know, he had himself in a good position.
Glass hasn't had a show-stopping save or not many opportunities, but keeping the Syosset offense in check.
No, but you know what? Honestly, sometimes when you have those show-stopping saves, it's because something failed with the team in front of you. When you're making those normal functional saves, that's because everybody is doing something right in front of you, and they're putting the offensive guy into the right channels.
Off the free kick, Liam Oliver started and stopped. And it'll swap the kicker. Joe Zeno readies himself and grooves it far side. Big stretch for the Hawks. Next 3 games, Uniondale, East Meadow, and Massapequa. Hoping to put some points on the board, but like you mentioned, a must-win game for the Hawks on the road against Syosset.
Yeah, that's just a gauntlet. I mean, Uniondale's at the top of the table right now, and they have, for my money, number 1, the most underrated player in the county. Number 2, the best player in the county, Raymond Zavala.
Well, here comes Navarro. Navarro down the sideline, hanging with Zeno. Chip shot, and there is that save that we were looking for. Jacob Glass with the denial. On the near side, Navarro, a good through ball.
That's a great move from Navarro, you know, finding his teammate across, and that was just it's a rocket of a shot there, and just get the hands out and knock that ball down from the keeper, Glass.
Xavier Poltz vying for his 4th goal of the year, and this will be the 6th corner for Syosset. Jake Dappas readies himself. And headed straight up. Waxer couldn't settle, and the ball cleared.
Would it be too dad jokey to say he was like bulletproof glass on that shot?
It's a good one. Trying to break the glass. With the way that the defense has been playing so far, you'd have to imagine that Christine Ho, who is a positive person, glass half full, their keeper.
Hey, you know, the 3-6-1, it seems to be clicking and working. And, you know, Christine Ho, one of the legendary coaches in Nassau County soccer, she's been around for quite a long time. Not trying to age her here, but she's been around for a while. If this thing starts to take root here in Plainview, maybe we might see a new trend here in Nassau soccer.
Well, and that's one of the benefits that she has that we don't. She's with her team every day. She knows the personnel, and there had to be flashes in practice where she said we might be able to pull this off. And we already knew her soccer acumen, but it's on full display first 44 minutes, or 46, almost 46 minutes into this one.
And I can tell you,
Syosset trying to get something going. Navarro chips it up top. Long shot deflected wide.
And I was going to say, I can tell you from experience, you know, you're sitting with a team, and, you know, last year on my team, we had a certain formation, and I knew going into this year with the personnel we had coming back, we're going to change it completely. We were going to go from a basic set, 4-4-2, to a 3-5-2, and it worked out really well. So, like you said, John, you know your personnel, and you know what'll work.
Xavier Poltz. Poltz to Navarro. Tries to chest it up ahead. Here's McGuire. And brushed aside. Diacono.
You know, the skill is there, right? These nice little flicks are there. It looks like some people were screaming for a little bit of a handball. They're not going to get that one, but great bit of skill from Syosset and a good job from Plainview to just just anchor themselves in there and just get that ball out.
Navarro was out of play, so Glass sent it down the field, and a sub for Plainview JFK, Logan Klein. The freshman comes on. Good speed, has all the tactical skills. Christine Ho says the one issue, he's just young. Ethan Reiser watches it out of play, and he'll get the throw in. Dempsey.
Hey, you got to wonder, John, the longer this game goes on 0-0, granted we're only 8 minutes into the second half here, you know, you got to wonder if Syosset starts to, you know, have shades and memories of that 0-0 game against Port Washington that went into the 87th minute, 88th minute before Port Washington picked up that penalty and they scored on a penalty kick. You know, the longer a game stays scoreless or tied, it almost seems like it's an advantage to an underdog team because they can just go clip one right away, and now all of a sudden the team that is the favorite is now they're playing on the back of their heels as opposed to vice versa.
Well, generally, when you're looking at upsets, you could always point back to subsections of the game. And for Plainview, first 10 minutes against an aggressive Syosset team, they held serve. The 3-6-1 worked, and then you add that into the 20th minute, the 30th minute at halftime, they still weren't budging. And even with some of Syosset's good corner kicks, they're out-cornering them 6-0. They've stood the test, and now they've put themselves in a position almost 9 minutes through into the second half.
It's a generous run up. They're going to redo that one.
Oh, you can't get 15 yards on a throw-in?
Tom Cully's not going to let that one go. You know, let's do this one again, boys. And for Syosset, you know, if you're Waxer and Pedicini on the sideline, you're telling your boys, keep this ball here. Keep it on this side of the field. You know, you don't want them to advance on the other side of the 50.
Reiser. Headed back, open field. Chase Pendrick. Up top, Poltz. Poltz with some space on the cross. Shot wide left. Good opportunity for Cole McGuire, and he hooked it.
Right, here we go. A beautiful cross laid in, and you know, you see Poltz Navarro waving there, telling him, I'm going to lay this off to you, and it's there right at the top again for Michael Greenspan.
That's me pointing. I apologize.
No,
I didn't mean to
it's
step
good.
on. What I'm saying is Greenspan tapped it over to McGuire.
Yeah.
So almost a self-inflicted wound, and you could hear the huge sigh of relief coming from the Plainview sideline.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think that's twofold. One, it's a sigh of relief, and two, I think it's got to be a little more. I wonder if the frustration is now going to start to settle in for Syosset that, wait, we should have scored 2 or 3 by now.
Safe and secure for our student athletes.
Brett Waxer goes to his bench. Jeremy Mallon comes in. Mallon a positive first half off the bench.
Absolutely, and this is a situation where Mallon comes in off the bench, and he's a guy that can pot one right now. He's a guy who can just completely turn this game around and stick one in here for Syosset. And you know, having spoken to Waxer in the past, having a deep bench like this, he can play a lot of subs, right? And he'll pull guys like Javi Navarro out, where a lot of teams are going to leave in their stud striker the whole game. Pull them out, give them 10 minutes. That way they can go nonstop, all out for the last 15. It's a luxury.
Mallon earning more and more playing time each game. He was somebody that was plucked out of those yoga sessions, or what did you affectionately call it, pen yoga?
Ped yoga.
Which is just a great way to keep the subs in shape, and that's why Syosset is one of the deeper teams on the island.
Right, you know, as coaches, we think about what we want to do on our recovery days, you know, our day off. When you're playing 3 games in a week, you know, you got to keep these kids active. You want to keep them limber. You know, you don't want to have a full-on practice. You got to do something with them, and Ped yoga is something that maybe I want to bring to Oyster Bay.
On the counter, opportunity for the Hawks. Shot saved by Ayaga, and corner upcoming. Good opportunity by Eric Stolak, but couldn't put it through.
Right, and this is what I was talking to you about, John. You know, it's these moments where they can just clip a goal like this. You know, a little mistouch, you pounce on that ball, go the other way, maybe you can sneak one in.
Well, Ayaga thrown into the fire in the second half, and the reliever has come on and kept the shutout going. First corner for Plainview. Going to the far side, and a whistle and a push. We'll give it to Sio.
Yeah, and something, if they get another opportunity like this, Andrew Melville was unmarked on the back post, something they might want to look at if they have another opportunity for corner again.
Hands to the whistle. Toss it the goal kick.
Good run, but then Cesar Rubio gets tripped up by his own mate, Navarro. Comes back to Poltz, who drops it off. Zamet.
Come on, Andrew.
Right, and that's a great example of what we call playing negative, right? You play back, reset, cycle through, try and stretch that defense out and find those holes.
Andrew Melville off to the far side. Reiglowitz jockeying for position with Klein. It'll be a Sio throw-in.
Right, something to keep an eye on right now. Xavier Poltz was just down there doing a little bit of extra stretching. Looks like he might be starting to get a little tight. Something to keep an eye on.
Poltz, the drop-off. Here comes Sio. The shot is high. Navarro so close to breaking the tie and sends it over the bar.
Or maybe he's going to look like Prime Messi and tap it over the defensive head. What a great little piece of skill there to Navarro. he brought that ball down real well. Right, he had that ball. He made a play on that ball as it was coming up. Right, they're right here. Syosset is knocking on that door. It's just a matter of time.
Malin reverses course, Dapis. Danny Flynn checks in, number 15 for Syosset, as this is Richie Dempsey. Sends it down the far side. Klein tracking it and watching it out of play.
Right, I like the idea of switching the field, but you need somebody out there on that wing a little bit more of on an angle. Instead of sending that ball up too high, send it more on a 90-degree angle out wider, and then you can send it up.
Roland. Reiglowitz drops the shoulder. And Plainview wanted a penalty.
And they're just there letting them play. I love it. Let them out there and play. Swallow the whistle. Let them go.
No bookings, no cards on either side through the first almost 56 minutes. Kyle Gregory the throw.
Got 24 minutes to go.
Gregory long throw. Headed back and deflects out.
Yeah, I think that was an attempt at a flick on. Right, didn't get the proper angle. And now we're going to go the other way for Syosset. Let's see what Syosset can cook up here.
Reiglowitz. Here's Danny Flynn. Good energy off the bench. One of those ped yoga guys and a senior, and contributes a lot in the second half of games. Melville. Way up the field. How about Logan Klein? He's like an Energizer bunny. He's always in fourth gear. Number 14 in white.
I'm super impressed with this Plainview team. I scouted them all week, watched a bunch of their games. This is the best I've seen them play. I think this is one of those games, like we said at the top of the broadcast, John. This is a game these kids got up for. They probably had last year in their mind, plus to add in the fact that this is a must-win game for them. And there's also something to be said about the idea of pride. It's not fun being in a losing season. You want to do whatever you can to turn it around.
Sent towards the box, headed back. There is Klein. Klein trying to keep it in play, hits off his chest, and it'll be a Syo throw-in. I think also a little factor has to be that this is a Saturday evening game, so you don't have class in the morning. You can kind of sleep in, go through your normal routine or your weekend routine, and focus on this game, and these guys have brought it.
Yeah, and you got to think, too, that Syosset's had essentially a week off. They are well rested for this game, where Plainview just played a couple days ago.
Zammit into the box. Glass knocks it out. Second opportunity and a long ball through the uprights.
That was a great defensive play from Jacob Glass. This is called owning your box as a keeper, right? The striker's not looking at you. You come out of nowhere, punch that ball out. Great, strong play from Glass. Very impressive.
Very nice play by Jacob Glass coming at them. Punch out down entry from Zammit.
Zeno. All the way through, and Reiglowitz chases. Oyoga. Momentum building for Syosset. Pushing it down the field. Syo player goes down, and now a whistle. As that was Cesar Rubio pushing the agenda.
Yeah, and that was a great run from Rubio up the line. Looks like he induced that foul just outside. Yep, just outside the box. Be dangerous position here for Syosset. And you got to treat this just like a corner kick. Right, a corner kick with a little bit of a more favorable angle. Right, you want to be looking to crash back post here.
Cole McGuire at the 60-minute mark.
And you know who they're looking for right here.
Sends it towards the net and over the post. He was looking for the goal.
He was. And if you see this replay here and you watch Navarro's reaction after with the hands up, he's like, listen, I was wide open. I had the step. Just feed me the ball. He said, listen, I want to eat. Feed me, boys, feed me.
Just called that ball off the keeper.
Well, let's say it was last touched by Glass, so another corner. And let's see if they do feed the big man, Navarro. 6 goals, 3 assists, number 13 in the middle. But that's number 10, Jake Dappas, to take it. 2-time top 100 Newsday player to watch in all-county selection a year ago. The tap and a whistle offside.
Yep, looks like we got a foul in the box there. A little pushing. You give him a little bit of the business here in the box. Yeah, it looks like he may have called Navarro on that.
Violation against Syosset on the kick. It's Plainview.
It's a great touch.
And it keeps the game scoreless. Stolak up the far side. Klein drops it back.
And this corner, sorry, John, this corner was all made possible by that great touch off the chest of Richie Dempsey, right? Great control there to get that ball up moving forward.
Under 18 and a half to go.
You know, I've seen so many games where a guy in the middle of the field will take that touch and the ball's going to pop out 10 yards. Great control out of him.
Diakonu to take the corner, the second for the Hawks. Chipped off the uprights, and nothing doing once again. Looked like Zeno was the one with the kick.
Yeah, he had position, and he was right there.
19. Xavier Bolts checks in.
Xavier Poltz returns for Syosset.
He put a great move on that. He put a great, and this is, you know, we talked about this is a game of inches, right? You know, another an inch lower on his foot. Same thing with Navarro before. That ball was on the coming up. That ball's an inch lower. He scores. It's just a game of inches out here.
A lot of teams don't have the luxury of bringing a top 100 player off the bench in the second half, but that's what Syosset has in this match. There's Navarro. Plainview wants a hand. Coley says no, and play on. Navarro. Mallon skies it. Glass makes the catch.
And that little side foot flick has turned into almost like a patented move there for Navarro. I love it.
So ball headed around. Who can break a scoreless tie?
See, that's the kind of ball they want to play, right? Play it a little bit more perpendicular like that.
Diakonu.
And now we got another corner.
So they didn't have a single corner through the first 40 minutes. And this will be their third of the half.
And Syosset's got to dig deep because that last corner was dangerous for Plainview.
David Diakonu.
And with 16 minutes here, this is one of these dagger kind of goals if Plainview pushes one through here.
The returning starter sends it in. Oyaga parries it down. There's the shot, and that goes high as Ty Rowland was knocking on the door.
Ty Rowland was looking for a little highlight reel goal here with this little like side bicycle kick.
Just over the bar.
Let's go, Benny.
But that's back-to-back corner kicks where Plainview is putting a really good move on that ball. You know, and the last thing you want is you don't want that ball banging around down there in that box. You want to get a foot on it and get it out as soon as possible.
You know, if the nets were 5 feet higher, this would be a 4-3 game, the way that it's gone. Of course, if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bike.
Right.
Final 15 minutes to play on the far side. Here's Syo. Oliver leaves it to Diakunu.
Let's go, Syo!
Roland finds its way out towards McGuire.
Nice layoff there from Navarro.
And here's Mallon. Navarro. Ball deflected again. Loose ball, straight up. Gregory. And Oliver with the clear.
Those are those kind of miscue hits from that center back where you're, as a coach, in your head you say, oh my God. But they did a good job of recovering and pouncing and trying to get that ball cleared out.
Poltz trying to get position. Plainview keeps it in, and Poltz keeps possession. Dapis up ahead. Navarro, loose ball, glass way out of his net. It's an empty net. Here's Meyerowitz, and never got the shot off.
Yeah, Meyerowitz just couldn't get his body turned and just turn the hips for that shot there. You know, and dangerous play from Glass there. And, you know, sometimes that's what you need, a little spark, right? Maybe that can, you know, push his team a little bit more, give him that little extra 10% to get that ball across the line for Plainview.
Greenspan. Poltz. And Dapis. Playing along the far side. Finally cleared over. Andrew Zamet. Navarro goes down, whistle blown. And in good position for Syo.
And this is a clock stoppage, and this is going to be a yellow card situation, I think. Or is he going to just get it off a warning?
Let's take a look at the replay. Coley keeping the card in pocket.
Right, listen, that's great team defensive work. Oh, there's the card.
That's going to go against Liam Oliver. And yellow card on Oliver.
Yeah, there was no attempt to play the ball there. And now this is a dangerous position here for Syosset.
Lining one up here.
Stolak, Melville.
Right now, if there's look at that huge gap between the wall and where Syosset is. Send somebody right through that wall, lay that ball off right in between, and you have a goal. But we'll see what Dapis can cook up.
Yeah, that's Stolak, Melville, and Diacono on the wall. Sent towards the middle, a chip. Poltz trying to settle, shoots it high.
John, I watched them on the practice ground right before the game doing this exact play.
He rockets one right over the bar.
They did that exact play. They ran that thing for like 15, 20 minutes before this game. I was watching them run a pregame. They had that in their pocket for that moment, and he's going to be kicking himself in the film room. It was there for him.
Poltz. Ball sprays out of play. Poltz.
Now Syosset, you got to keep up the pressure for your Syosset. Plainview, get the ball out and get the ball up the field.
10 to go.
Aggressive header.
Good job, Andrew!
Zamek keeps it in. And Plainview sends it up the field, and Brody Waxer was waiting for it. Skies it in the air. Navarro. And Glass.
Deftly brought down from Glasser, who's having an incredible game, running this back end here for Plainview, keeping them in this game.
Nice job by Gregory on the clear.
Go, Andrew!
Stolak. Stolak drawing in 2 defenders. Squirms free. Hawks looking for the tiebreaker. And that was Roland. Hits off the dome of Klein. Chips it towards the box. Almost a breakdown by Sayo, but they recover. Meyerowitz hits the deck. Poltz trying to feed him. Xavier Poltz. It's a foot race. Meyerowitz with the loose ball. 10.5 to play in regulation, and Meyerowitz coughed it up, and then a whistle. And that'll stop the clock with 10:29 to go in the second half.
We got a man down here in the back on the other side of the field. I think Tom Culley's going to check on him first. But I don't know if Meyerowitz is going to catch a card here. Richie Dempsey down for, no, or that Stolak down for Plainview.
Richie Dempsey.
It is Dempsey that's down, so he goes to the sideline.
Your eyes are better than mine, John.
Paid for these eyes.
And there is a card being handed out.
So first yellow card against Sayo. It's Xavier Poltz.
No, Tom Culley just admitted he was wrong. He gave it to the wrong guy. That's Meyerowitz with the card.
Good call there. Yeah, so Meyerowitz comes off. And they should change the clock to 10:09. That's what Culley's signaling to the press box.
Yellow card on Ken Meyerowitz. Plainview the kick. We've got 10 minutes to go in the game.
Up top, Tapas.
Plainview.
This has been a fun one. Last thing we need is a goal. Here's Roland matching up with Waxer. And Waxer, the future Michigan Wolverine, escorts it out of play to secure a goal kick.
And now here we are inside of 10 minutes, and now this is where the nerves start getting tight. Every single touch on the ball, the anxiety is going up, and this is where tiny little mistakes can get magnified. You just tell your team, everybody just take a breath and keep it simple and just play. Because for Plainview, they've been hanging in and hanging in and hanging in.
Michael Greenspan, the throw-in. And another throw-in for the Hawks.
They're kind of like Matt Damon at the end of Rounders, just hanging around.
Matt Damon.
We'll see if they deliver the knockout blow here to Syosset.
Throw it. And the clear from Greenspan.
Right, and that's about all he could do right there with X just breathing down his neck. Great work in the middle of the field by Navarro.
Zeno with the first header. Syosset's had about 3 good scoring opportunities, but Plainview has stood toe-to-toe with them.
Under 8 minutes to go.
A must-win game for the Hawks. For Syosset, trying to bolster up their seeding with just a few weeks left till the playoffs.
Right, and I don't know if our field mics just caught that. I caught it up here in the booth. But, you heard Christine Ho, the coach of Plainview, saying, keep working, right? This is a team that is just throwing everything at Syosset right now.
Well, Syo, free kick. Riser wanted to start, and then Diacono, a little gamesmanship.
Kick for Syosset as we hit the 7-minute mark.
Riser, good kick, and headed back. Navarro and Glass shuts the window.
Nice head ball there, looking for Xavier Navarro.
And you got to have some kind of nerve as a keeper. Where, you're trying to come down with the ball, and you got a big boy like Navarro coming charging at you. You got to trust that he's going to pull himself off of that run or stop himself.
Here we go, Andrew.
Glass making a case to be one of those players of the week.
Oh, absolutely.
Mallon spreads it wide. Navarro an extra touch. Plainview trying to keep it in bounds, cannot, and a good throw for Syosset. Pultz drops off. Dapis on a string, chips ahead, and Glass is there once more.
Yeah, great piece of skill there from Dapis.
Yo-yo touches there. Fires on the right foot, but it was deflected by the defense. Plainview boots it out of there, 5:50 to go.
And Plainview break through. This is Ty Rowland drawing the double. Here's Wallowitz. Wallowitz, and a shot from Stolak. It's blocked.
That's called running through the ball right there, John.
Dapis. Wallowitz. And a whistle. Should be a Plainview free kick. And Liam Oliver to take it.
Now, see, this is a situation where, you have a young team. You want to start working in something where you just put the ball down and play, right? Because, yes, this is a dangerous position. But, you're also in a position where Syosset's turned around. They're not looking. Just get that ball in quick, and you're off to the races.
Oliver swings it. And coming back our way. Plainview keeps the throw, whistle. As the Hawks trying to get a sub in. Richie Dempsey comes on.
Richie Dempsey checks back in for Plainview.
And, and this is a much-needed clock stoppage here with 4:39 left in this game where, now the players can't come off the field. Coach can step on. If she steps on the field and the trainer steps on, he comes off the field.
Well, let's see. Let's see here if he's good to go. That's good to see. So let's keep it here.
Right, but this is a situation as a coach, you're furiously sending in quick tiny little adjustments that you can make. Right, maybe you try and set up a little play here. Maybe so you can draw something up.
That was Zeno that was a little shaken up, but good to go. Throw in coming for Klein. Or check that, Gregory the throw in. High in the Syosset night. Ball never settled to Oliver, jockeying for position. Oliver's shot's blocked by McGuire.
There was a nice eat by McGuire right there.
And there's Sebastian Oyaga.
4:13 to go.
Ball trickles out of play. Syo the throw in. Here's Melville. Navarro taking on 4 defenders.
And the Plainview coaching staff is clapping it up down there as well. They should, shutting down that dangerous-looking attack.
Sayo trying to break through. Glass slides and pounces on it. That was Cesar Rubio charging in.
Yeah, nice move from Cesar Rubio. And there's a slide. And you know, I think some players from Plainview are going to take umbrage at that. But, you know, you have to go sliding into that ball. You have to go attack it. You know, Tom Culley's having a conversation. And he caught a card on that play. But, you know, listen, that's a loose ball pinging around down there. 3 minutes left in the game. You got to go after that ball.
Second yellow card against Sayo.
It's a warranted, right? You know, you're going in, studs up on a keeper almost. But when that ball is laying out there like that, you know, you got to go take the chance.
3:21 to go.
Stolak almost towards midfield. Roland. Roland up ahead. Here's the foot race and headed towards Oyaga. Picks it up in front of Eric Stolak. Under 3 minutes to play in regulation. Stolak. Dempsey. Dempsey dangling, shooting wide.
He's so good on the ball, Dempsey. The way he can bring that ball down and turn.
Dempsey with the dangling
right, nice little touch. The stop. The hesitation, the turn, and the fire. Well done from him.
2.5 to go.
And it sets up the 4th corner kick for Plainview as it's David Diakonu to take it. Headed down. Out of play. Plainview wants another corner and will not get it. Last touch by the Hawks. And Oyaga puts it down.
And now the pace is going to get super frenetic right now.
Here's Jeremy Mallon. Syosset looking for a hero. Pultz sends up ahead towards Navarro, and there's Glass.
Some great defensive work right there from number 2. Michael Greenspan to hold off Navarro.
Michael Greenspan hold off Navarro. We've got a minute and a half to go.
Dappis. Jake Dappis slides it ahead to Mallon. Right on the foot of Pultz, draws the double team. Jeremy Mallon, 80 seconds to go. Frees it up to McGuire. On the cross, headed out. Sayo's waiting for it, that's Reiser.
No, I think we should say, John, for those people who are not familiar with Nassau soccer and high school soccer, there is no overtime.
So both teams will get a point if the score remains 0-0. Glass makes the catch. And it'll slow it down. This is a big game for Plainview, and you'd want to see Glass get the ball rolling. 45 seconds to go. Plainview looking at a gauntlet. Uniondale, East Meadow, Massapequa remain after this contest. Would love to get a couple of points here. On the turn, Pultz. And out of play. Into the Plainview bench. 20 seconds to go. Desperation time for both teams. A whistle. And the clock will continue to run, and that should do it.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to run this one out here, John. Take the point and go home.
Well, for a 0-0 game, this was a fun one. As Joseph Zeno puts on the finishing touches, and through full time, Syosset and Plainview play to a scoreless draw.
Again, great game, high energy. Both teams played real well. You know, Plainview, you know, all respect to them and all, you know, props to them. they came out there and they went toe-to-toe with Syosset. They had last year's championship game in their head. They're trying to pick up that point, scratching and clawing to get to 500. Great job out of them. If you're Syosset, though, I can't help but feel like they're going to come off this field feeling a little bit left down.
Well, it is going to be a fun way to see how it shakes out for Syosset. They're now 5-2-1, and on the other side for Plainview, they are 1-5-3. For my partner Brian Donahue and the rest of our crew, this is John Perez saying so long from Syosset High School. This has been a presentation of Nassau County Boys Soccer on TND Sports.